Absolutely. I have every intention of bringing the truth to light in this trial. Ah, such confidence. That's magnificent to see. And bringing the truth to light, you say? An admirable goal. No more jousting at imaginary giants. All of you cease your yammering. The door's opening. Here we go, boy and I. Sir, Senor Falcon. We will. Are we ready? We're ready. I don't think I am ready. We'll find out. JJ. Severin. Nervous? Why would I be nervous? I'm not nervous. I'm as calm as a cuckoo. You're the nervous one. This whole courtroom is nervous. What? Cool your feathers, Falcon. Terrible. You can't even maintain a stoic facade. I thought this trial would be the perfect opportunity for you to redeem your previous embarrassments. Yeah, it might mean good luck, but he is the one that is up against us in court. And Falcon, when introducing Sparrowson to him, said that he was his rival. Why would the rival wish good luck to him? So yeah, I'm not too sure. But if this is how you act before the trial has even started, why you pompous-tailed, posture perfect? Order, order. Let's all settle down. Court is now in session. Psst, Falcon. What is it? Is it me, or does the primary judge look hairier today? That's a different judge to the one who resided over Dame Catherine's trial, you doofus. Oh, still, it's a little strange, isn't it? Not really. There are a dozen judges in Paris alone. It only makes sense that we see different ones in different cases. Excuse me, Your Honour. I was under the impression that Judge Maxime would be residing over this case. Where is he? Judge Maxime has gone on temporary sick leave due to a terrible accident with a flight of stairs. But rest assured, assessors, prosecutor, defence and members of the jury, that I am more than qualified to fill his shoes. Was it the fox? I thought it was I thought it was my enemy that said it. If it was the fox, then it could mean that. Yeah, I've forgotten who said it or what was said, so I just kind of thought, I can't read that, no idea what it means, skip over it. Without further ado, let's get this show underway. This is a trial of Prince Yuan Querido, who stands accused of murdering Major Hao and of conspiring to murder the king himself. Roll call. The defense is present and ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Good, very good. I expect this to be a nice, speedy trial. I don't want to see this dragged out by technicalities and bureaucracy. Well said, Your Honor. I expect that once the court sees the overwhelming evidence that this trial will be over in 5 minutes. 5 minutes? He's just messing with your head, Falcon. Keep it together. So we're all on the same page. Excellent, prosecutor. Please call your first witness to the stand. Very well. I call the police officer who investigated the crime scene. I call upon Inspector Just Volerty. Wasn't he the private investigator from the other place? Step up to the stand, Inspector, and recite the oath. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Please recite your name and occupation for the court record. My name is Inspector Just Volity. I am a servant to the law, a scourge to the gutter rats. That will do, Inspector. We've all heard your monologue before. What? Cocorico really is going for a speed record, isn't he? Now, can you tell us what you witnessed on the morning of the 7th of January? Of course. At 10 o'clock in the morning, I was called to the Louvre's Grand Gallery by one of the King's Royal Guards. Did he just say o'clock? There I saw Prince Juan, King Louis Philippe, and corpse of Major Howe with a rose in his hand, and around 24 citizens. The citizens and the King himself all attest to seeing Major Howe taking the rose from Prince Juan's hand and then promptly dropping dead. And what did the morgue uncover upon examination of the corpse? The coroner determined with absolute certainty that the Major Howe died of poisoning. Aside from a prick under the finger, there was no sign of external harm to Major Howe's body. Therefore, the poisoned rose must have been the cause of death. Putting the pieces together, that does seem very implicative of the prince. I have no further questions. Damn, I was hoping that the coroner's report would determine that the guy died from a freak heart attack or something. That would make for a peculiar speedy trial, wouldn't it? But no, we aren't so lucky. Something else must be amiss in the old bird's testimony. Right, we'll tear it apart. Your Honour, I wish to cross-examine the witness. Falcon, wasn't it? Don't waste the court's time. A high-ranking police officer would never lie on the witness stand. I wouldn't accuse the inspector of lying. I just want to make sure that every base is properly covered. This sounds like pointless nitpicking to me, but I'll allow it for now. He does not sound like a judge. Go on, Falcon. Do your cross-examination. Select a statement to question. I'll go with poisoning. Inspector, you say that the coroner determined with certainty that Major Howe was killed by poison. Correct. He stated the signs and symptoms were textbook. There is no possibility that his death was natural. What kind of poison was it? Did the coroner mention specifically what kind of poison it was? He was not certain. At first the coroner posited that it was a plant-borne poison, like that of a aconite flower. But when he learned how fast the poison had taken effect, he noted that this was atypical of aconite. Consequently, he suggested that it may have been some newly engineered concoction. A newly engineered poison, you say? Well, that only reaffirms that this was a very deliberate assassination attempt. Indeed. Do you have another question for about the poison? Yes. He's saying, for that one, he's saying it's from the prick from the rose. But no poison even these days acts that quick. They may see it as bad for me to do this one. I'm gonna say it anyway. How exactly was Major Howe poisoned? What was the delivery mechanism? His finger was pricked by the poisoned rose. He even commented out loud about it, seconds before dying. All 22 citizens who witnessed the murder attested to seeing and hearing this. That's exactly what I'm thinking. It wasn't the rose that was poisoned, it was the chocolate that he ate earlier. But as far as this investigator believes, it was the rose. Is there any possibility that he was poisoned by something else? What an absurd thing to ask, JJ. You just heard that 22 people saw the victim prick his finger and die. What are you suggesting? That the pricked finger had no relation to the poisoning? Well, yes. That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't doubt that Major Howe was poisoned, but I do doubt that the rose was the cause. Unbelievable. Only a total buffoon could fail to draw the blatant link here. JJ, as tempting as it is to sit here and lecture you on the basics of cause and effect, I'll end this discussion painlessly. Inspector, please tell the defence that you found traces of poison on the thorns of the rose itself. That should alleviate the doubt that the rose was in fact the poison delivery mechanism. Actually, I can't tell him that. I dread to ask, but why not? We didn't check the rose for traces of poison. It just seemed obvious that the rose caused the poisoning, given the timing of the incident. Yeah, Danganronpa games are pretty good. I've seen 2 of them. But yeah, that they do have a lot of twists, and this one on Steam, it does say that Danganronpa is a game similar to this, so I'm expecting twists and turns all the way through it. Well then, now would be a good time to make a test. Here's a marvellous thought. We prick the finger of the defendant with the rose. If there is no poison on the rose, then Prince Yuan lives and he is free to go. If the rose is poisoned, then the prince dies. But that's okay, because the punishment would be just and fitting of the crime. A marvellous suggestion. What is this? A witch trial? This isn't America. Severin, that's not how we do things here. Calm your feathers, JJ. It was clearly a joke. There are far more humane ways of testing for poison. I'm sure the inspector will perform his duty with due diligence. Actually, we won't be able to test the rose for poison at all. Why is that? Given the dangerous nature of the flower, it was destroyed by the police force. We burned it to ashes. Such unprofessionalism. If we have no way to know whether the rose was poisoned, then this whole trial ought to be called into question. Nice try, JJ, but through the process of reasoning by elimination, we can still deduce with absolute certainty that the rose was poisoned. In other words, there was nothing else at the crime scene that could have caused the poisoning. Wrong. There was something else at the crime scene that could have contained the poison. Something the investigative police blindly overlooked. Chocolate wrapper. Look at this. What am I supposed to be looking at? It is the paper wrapper to a piece of chocolate. It was found in the Louvre, the Salle du Tiber to be precise, and we can date its consumption to the day of the incident. You're not suggesting that Major Howe ate a piece of poisoned chocolate moments before he died? I most certainly am. Interesting. Pretty convincing. You gained a little favour with the jury. Nice. Did you see this wrapper at the crime scene for yourself, Inspector? The police force does not have the time nor resources to patrol every piece of trash at every crime scene, I'm afraid. In other words, you overlooked it. Astounding unprofessionalism. The prosecution is right to be disgusted. What a disgraceful display, Inspector. I offer my apologies, Your Honour. I don't want your apologies. I want you to do your damn job properly. Get off the witness podium before I kick you off myself. As you wish. I'll take my leave. Until next time, messieurs. So let me get this straight. This chocolate wrapper was found at the crime scene. Correct. And you have reason to believe that it was consumed on the day of the incident? I do. I have an expert food tasting witness who is willing to testify if need be. You have a foodie witness? I don't recall anyone like that. Who on earth are you talking about, Falcon? Oh, I see. But do you know for certain that Major Howe consumed the chocolate? Well, that is a fact that we are still investigating. I see. And do you have evidence that this chocolate was in fact poisoned? Again, that is something that may require a little more time to definitively prove. So then, in actuality, you do not have evidence that Major Howe consumed some poisoned chocolate. Instead, you have a solitary piece of rubbish that you plucked straight out of the gutter. That's weak, even for you, JJ. Let's move things along. I have another witness I would like to summon. He is a man who claims to have had an excellent view of the people going in and out of the Louvre at the time of the incident. I call upon Monsieur Jonesy Kingsley. Yes, but we have the piece of trash that may be evidence of a theory. Yes, pretty much. Unlike the prosecution whose key piece of evidence was destroyed by the police. Yes, exactly. The wrapper, although it may be just a theory, it is actually there. Not destroyed by cops. Could the witness please approach the stand and recite the oath? Yeah, I do have the Twitch chat on screen, but the game being so yellow, you really can't see it in the top left corner. I just noticed that. And is conjecturing at a magical unknown poison. Yep. Could the witness please approach the stand and recite the oath? Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Oh, right, the oath. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Please state your full name and occupation for the court record. My name is Jonesy Kingsley, and I am a person who fishes. A person who fishes? So you are a fisherman. Oh, is that how it is? I thought the French justice system was better than this. I beg your pardon? Here comes Jonesy Kingsley, the kingfisher. Clearly, he must be fisherman, because didn't you hear? All kingfishers are fishermen. Well, you are carrying a fishing rod, and can a man not carry a fishing rod, reel and bait without being branded a fisherman? Look, the prosecutor is carrying a riding crop. Clearly, he must be a horse jockey. Oh, for pity's sake. Fine. We can list your occupation as person who fishes, and not fisherman. Thank you. Actually, why do you carry a riding crop, Severin? I've never seen you ride a horse. I don't know, JJ. Why do you, a 30-something-year-old with no health problems, carry a cane? This is veering quite far off the course. It is. Could the prosecution please get back to his questions? Of course, Your Honour. Monsieur Kingley, is it true that you were nearby the Louvre at the time of the incident? Yes, I was sitting upon a rail of the Pont des Arts. The Pont des Arts, that's the new bridge that's just a stone's throw from the Louvre south entrance, correct? That's right. And what were you doing at the time of the incident? I was fishing. Kingfishers, am I right, Falcon? Okay. So you would have had plenty of opportunity to see the people who entered and exited the palace. Can you tell us who you saw? Well, the Louvre's a busy place. Naturally, I saw a lot of people. But at 9 AM, I saw the King Louis Philip himself enter the building. He was surrounded by his entourage, of course. Then, around 9:30 AM, I saw this shifty-looking fox lurking around the entrance. Your Honour, I object to the witness's use of the term shifty-looking. It's a vague and biased description. Not really. He looked super shifty. I saw him rubbing his paws and cackling gleefully. You have an upcoming opportunity to be spectacularly racist. Yep. And then I saw him take out a rose and carefully rub the stem. Rub the stem of a rose, you say? As if he were applying something to the flower, perhaps? Well, monsieur, I really shouldn't speculate. Of course, it was wrong of me to ask such a leading question. But yeah, it definitely looked like he was putting some sort of powder on the stem. Wow, even I wasn't expecting such a bold admission. Yes, you were. Members of the court, it sounds like what we have here is a direct witnessing of the defending readying the murder weapon. The defense claims that the rose was never poisoned, and yet here we have a man who saw the poison with his own eyes. No, he didn't. I smell perjury. You do? No question. He saw a shifty-looking criminal readying poison and cackling near the scene of the crime. That's not believable at all. I think you might be right. I wonder if I have any evidence that calls Toussaint's story into doubt. Your Honour, I would like to cross-examine the witness. Yes. I'll turn this lie into the truth. Pretty much. Really, this nonsense again? You just heard the witness directly describe your client readying poison on a rose. What is there to question? I'm just trying to uncover the truth, Your Honour. Fine. Do your thing. Go on, Falcon. Go make a fool out of yourself. Select a statement. Monsieur Kingley, you claim that you saw a shifty-looking fox. Yep, super mega shifty. All foxes are shifty-looking. Are you sure that the fox was Prince Juan? There must be at least 100 foxes in Paris. How do you know that the fox you saw was Prince Juan? Well, he was wearing a suave hat that hung low over his eyes. I hear that's how they wear them in Spain. And I'm not much of a fashion expert, but the rest of his outfit looked quite out of place for a French winter. Is that all you're going by? Fashion sense? His fashion sense? Oh, I nearly forgot. I heard him call a passer-by Senor. I thought that was peculiar. Well, that's him all right. Do you have another question about the shifty-looking fox? No. I was kind of hoping I'd be able to ask him about the rapper and did he see anyone eating chocolate. Monsieur Kingley? You say that you saw a fox rubbing the stem of a rose. Yep, saw it with my own eyes. Are you sure you saw powder? Are you sure it was a rose? Nah, powder. How far away were you from the south entrance? 20 meters perhaps? 30? I'm somewhat doubtful that you could make out powder being applied to something at those sort of distances. Monsieur, I don't claim to have seen the powder itself. I said that it looked like he was applying powder to the flower stem. It could have been a wax, or a liquid, or whatever. But the guy was definitely putting something on the flower. I see. Well, that's nice and vague. Do you have another question about the poison rose? No. Never mind. I have no more questions about the poison rose. Already asked that. That one seems a bit pointless to ask. Let's see about that one. You say that you saw the king himself enter the Louvre. Indeed I did. Who was in the king's entourage? Who did you see in the king's entourage? Well, there was the king himself, obviously, and there were quite a few guards, maybe 4 or 5, including a big dog who I hear is the guy who died, Major Howe. Say all foxes are shifty looking. I could, but the other things that he said about what the fox did and said made us believe that it was him. So I think that was all. I see. Do you have another question about the king's arrival? What was the other statement? No, it was definitely the king. Never mind, I'll ask something else. I might need to ask that one. Monsieur Kingley, you say that you were sitting upon the railings of the Pont des Arts on the morning of the incident. Yep. I suppose this one is one good. You had a good view of the Louvre south entrance, didn't you? Yep. The Pont des Arts is a great vantage point for seeing the Grand Gallery's south side. This one may be the one I need. What about the other entrances? The other entrances? You mean like if you were entering from Tuileries Gardens or the Place de Carousel? No, I couldn't possibly see those areas from the bridge. But of course, that isn't relevant. Monsieur Kingley witnessed Prince Juan entering the south entrance with flower in hand, and that's what counts. What if Prince Juan used another entrance? Which we believe he did. What if Prince Juan entered from the south, didn't enter from the south entrance? What if he approached the Louvre from the gardens to the west? That's a big what if. Do you have any evidence that Prince Juan entered the Louvre from Tuileries Gardens? As a matter of fact, yes, I do. I have definitive proof that Prince Juan approached from the west, not the south. Hey, I know what I saw, Monsieur. I'm doubtful too. Go on, JJ. Show us this. Definitive proof that Prince Juan entered from the Louvre from Tuileries Gardens. So at the start of this case, I was given a book. When I visited the gardens, the groundskeeper was a photographer from the first case, gave us a page that was torn out of the book that we were given, which proves that he was at the gardens. So, page. Look at this, a book page. Page 44 of Don Quixote. Specifically, it was found just outside the Louvre's west entrance. This proves nothing. I'm not done yet. Take a look at this. Don Quixote. This is the book Prince Juan has been reading in jail since his arrest. I believe he has had it on his person for some time. And yes, page 44 is missing. That was the first thing I checked. You do realise what this means, don't you, Severin? The defendant was present in Toulouse Gardens prior to entering the Louvre.